Good morning, this is Joe from Citrus County Porch Life coming to you with the Daily Word of Men for September 16th, 2024. And the word is conscientious. And the biblical quote is, "Do not neglect your gift. Be diligent in these matters. Give yourself wholly to them so that everyone may see your progress." And that is from 1 Timothy 4, verse 14 and 15, the NIV version. At certain fairs or events locations, there are vendors who sell small trinkets. They make them on site and often include your name on them. One particular vendor has the most painstaking, meticulous task to build their craft. Using a finely tipped pen, a magnifying device, and 1 grain of rice, these vendors work hard to carefully craft a personalized grain incorporated in a necklace. It is of such fine detail that if your vision were 20/20, you could just make it out with your naked eye. How creative to personify rice and make it an industry. What limits are there in humanity when we are committed, hardworking, and industrious? When we put our minds to something and we are intentional about making it happen, we can perform amazing things. God made us to be creative and hardworking. What limitations do you put on yourself? Well, this is one of those passages in Scripture. Well, not in Scripture. The Scripture's pretty clear, but his use of conscientious and then taking a line of this Scripture out might not give you a clear idea of what Paul was saying to Timothy in the letter. Timothy had helped Paul on 2 of his trips, his second and third trip, and he was a good man, and he was young. And Paul wrote him a letter of encouragement. Don't feel bad about your youth. You've got the truth, and you've got God on your side, and stuff like that. And what is left out is that hands were laid on him by the elders of the church, depending on which denomination you subscribe to. It could be bishops or elders, and he was given the gift. Now this is about someone with a talent, not given, well, yes, given by God, but I've seen these pieces of rice, and it is quite amazing that they can do that. So conscientious and limitations, I don't know, it's a stretch. He doesn't hit it home with every single one of these writings in this. But sure, Timothy had to be very conscientious about what he did, how he acted, so he would be a good example for people who were inquiring into Christianity. He had to make sure that he got all the false teachers out, exposed them, because they were rampant in those days. And Paul knew that. And Paul knew his age and was just sent him this letter of great encouragement. He was in Ephesus, and there were a lot of different cultures and a lot of different, well, kind of like the United States, you can walk into a market and see candles that look religious, and then find out that they're used in sangria rituals. So what limitations do you put on yourself? Well, I'd like to say no, but as I get older, I know that I have certain physical limitations. I have a bad time driving at night. That is definite. And if I'm not in a familiar area or one that doesn't have street signs, I cannot go at night at all. Sometimes I walk with a cane because of a back injury I had in 2013. And so those are the limits. But in my mind, I feel like I'm 13 again. And I could do anything. So it's a good thought to think about. What are your limitations? Do you put any on yourself? Are your limitations like mine, health-wise and age-wise? And what can you do to overcome them? Because you have a limitation doesn't mean that you can't overcome it. They built a very, very nice walking path from the end of Citrus County, from the start of Citrus County up to the very end of the Citrus County. Quite a few miles, and you don't have to worry about cars. And you can, on Sunday, you can see families walking, biking. So that's really nice. And that, if you have a hard time getting around in crowds, you can do that. That's I mean, expand your limitations. You don't have to accept them. If you can't get out and walk around, maybe a walker would be okay, or a wheelchair. You don't have to sit home and do nothing. So if you don't have money for books, you can use the library. Books are free. There's a whole bunch of things you can overcome restraints that have been imposed on you. So I want to just say have a good day. Enjoy the beautiful weather. I haven't heard of any snowstorms yet up north. Recently we just got 6 more inches of rain. So in August and September to this point, we've had more rain than we had all of last year here in this section of Florida. So that's quite a bit, and it's good. There's a state park here that takes people out on pontoon boats and shows them the Homosassa River and where the Gulf water meets the spring water that comes up. I think it's at least 100 million gallons a day or an hour, and you can see the two waters coming together, and there's almost like a straight line between them. And if the water levels get too low, those boats can't go out safely. So that's nice. I can remember when I first came here, that's one of the things I wanted to do, and it was so nice to learn about your area. And that's where all the manatees come in the wintertime, because the average temperature of the water then is 72, 73, and they can have their babies in a nice safe place and no one gets after them. So once again, have a good day.